Okay. Now, you talk about the players' modern clothing. Okay. What made you step away? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I've never stepped away, but my dad started in 1969, and so back in the 70s, the word player was considered cool.
Right. Right.
So when I got here to Indianapolis and I started the store here, my dad got me going. I was only 28 at that time.
Okay, so now the name players came from your dad's store. You
That's
just
family
you just
business.
took it.
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
family
okay.
business. Well, and I
Okay.
did it for a reason. 28 years old, you're going into the business of doing the clothing thing. It's pretty tough.
Right.
I'm just be honest with you. A black male,
Yes.
it's tough. When I say it's tough, I'm talking when you go to the industry to do your purchasing and
Right.
all of that. So when I go to the industry, when I went back then, when I said Henry Wright, Players Modern Clothing. Oh, so now sit down. You see what I mean? So I was able to. There wasn't no.
You brought that clout.
because my dad had been in business since 1969, and that was
Exactly.
19. Here I opened the store. This is 25 years later.
Yeah.
So he's a pillar in the
Yeah,
community. They know
exactly.
him. So when I
Exactly.
mentioned my dad's name and I mentioned the store name, it's okay. What do you want?
Things got
so
done.
then I could actually order certain things. A lot of time you have to wait to get certain products that are kind of upscale. It's just it's a little pricier, so they may not trust you. You got to get your credit. There's a lot of things you got to do.
Okay.
But if you got somebody that was already going down that road, that's what I was wanting to talk to you about as far as somebody else wanting to start a business.
Yes.
A lot of times a person wants to start a business. Sometimes people don't have the finances.
This is true.
But you can work with somebody. You might have an uncle,
Okay.
a grandfather, or just a person that just, a mentor. And you work alongside them and learn what they're doing. They could help you get to the point that if nothing else, they could let you invest with them to become 10, 15, 20% owner. And eventually, they could help it to where you can get your own because it's just somebody you know. It's just like me working with my dad and my dad
Right.
getting me started. So a lot of times, it's just a matter of you finding somebody else that's already doing something that you enjoy doing.
Okay.
And there you go. But you got to enjoy doing it. It won't work if you go to do something.
Yeah, it's got to
And
be
you're
a
not
passion.
enjoying. If it's like you're pulling teeth and all that, it's not going to work. My son, when he came to work, he's been working with me now for a little bit over a year. And when he first came to work, he hadn't worn a suit since he was in high school.
Okay.
So he was intimidated coming in there because, trying to sell it to a doctor, trying to sell it to an
Exactly.
attorney.
Yeah.
And you haven't never done this before.
Yeah.
It could be intimidating. But because I'm his dad, he's like, okay, I'm going to stick it out and work through it. So now he's worked through it. But if
Yeah.
I wasn't his dad, there's no way he would be doing
What he
clothing.
does.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Now me, on the other hand, that's just what I did because that's what I enjoy doing.
Exactly.
But that's not something he just really enjoyed doing. But now it's starting.
going on.
Exactly.
It's getting more comfortable.
He's getting more comfortable. He realizes it's a family business, and so he can see
So
you can make it to where a family business. You don't have to sit back and say there's a ceiling as far as what you can make. It's up to you.
Exactly.
It's up to you.
Exactly.
You got to put the work in, and you can increase things. You can have 1 store, 2 stores, 22 stores. But all that stems from you as the individual.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. I don't know if you're familiar with Joseph Shoes.
Oh, used to be downtown?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Years
used to-
ago.
That,
yeah.
that was one of
Oh,
my
yeah.
first jobs.
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
promised me a job when I graduated
Yeah.
high school.
When I moved here, I
And,
bought a pair of shoes from him. When I moved, I actually bought some shoes because I said, you know what, these shoes look like the shoes my dad would have in that store back home.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to have some great shoes downtown.
And I was actually kind of good at that. And the reason why is because, like you said, I love shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I love shoes and I love clothes. And so it was easy for me to sell men's shoes because I love shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to get you just as excited about these shoes as I am. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I get when you say passion.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You have to have something, or if not, like you said, when we talked before, you just working. You know what I mean? But if you're doing something that you love, you're not working. You know what I mean? You occupying time throughout your day.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean? And making a
right,
living.
right.
But you're not working.
Right.
You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Especially when you're doing something you love to do you just you just enjoy it. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. You just got to find something that you really enjoy doing, and then that's where you go. And I tell a lot of people too, even when it comes to your children, like with my older son, I had him dribbling the ball like he's gonna be the next Michael Jordan. And when he got older, it's like, hey, Dad, that's not what I really wanted to do. And that's why after college, he did it a couple years in college, and he decided he didn't want to do it anymore because I was pushing him.
Yeah.
So my second son, who's a lot younger than my older son, I just let him be who he was. Just water whatever it is that person wants to be.
Exactly.
And do that. Don't try to make them be what you feel like they should be.
Exactly.
Everybody is different, even your own children.
Yeah.
They're not like exactly
I
like
just
you,
went
know.
through that
Yeah,
exact process
yeah.
with you know, and I know exactly what you're speaking of. Now for someone that is trying to get into this business, and just well, not even this business, but just to start up a business. You know, and some people think, well, you know, I don't know how to get no license. I don't know how to get, you know, a company started and da. Can you explain in a simple way?
Very simple. If you're going to start a business, either you're going to be a sole proprietor, or you can make it where it's going to be incorporated, or you're going to go with an LLC. Most people that's starting off should go a LLC route. If you go and get incorporated, you got to do meetings,
Limited
every month,
liability
things, right? So if you go with the LLC, you don't have to do as much of those things, but you got to get your license. So this is what you call your registration.
Okay.
You can just go down to the state building and just tell them you're wanting to open up a business, and then what they're going to do is look at the business name that you have and make sure that nobody else has that business name.
Okay.
And then you tell them you want to do an LLC. They give you the paperwork, 2 pieces of paper. You fill that out, pay $35 to $50. I can't remember the exact amount, and that's it. Now you got some people go to an attorney,
right?
And have the attorney will charge them $200, $300, $400 to get the LLC, and all they did was went down there and got the paperwork.
Right.
That's
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
So it's really not that much to it. So now you got yourself registered. Then you got your business, but you got to have it what they call brick and mortar. So you got to have your building setting or what have you. But then you have some people that
brick and mortar is what? A brick and mortar is what? For those who don't know,
it's the storefront.
Okay.
But the person that just says, I just don't have the money with a storefront. I'm starting from my home.
Okay.
You still can have a tax ID number and all that and have an LLC and run it from home.
Okay.
You know, when I first got here, I was selling clothes out the trunk of my car that I was getting from my dad's store. And then I would have people come to my home, and I would take clothes and spread them across my bed and put a couple things on the wall at my house. And I would sell it to them. So I was just building up my clientele.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
For when
and,
you got the brick and mortar.
Exactly. All you have to do if you want to run a business is go in the direction of the business that you wanted to do. Just go in that direction.
Just
That's
start
it.
just
Let's go in
start
that
just start
direction.
doing something.
Something. When I lost my store in 2011, it was 2008 was when everything crashed for the most part.
The recession.
Because I held on, but I was in the hood, so my rent wasn't that high, this, that, and the other. And I'm thinking, I've been doing so great. Even if my business dropped 25 or 30%, I'll be all right. Well, I didn't know it was going to drop even more than that. Got to the point where I just couldn't hold on. So I had to just move on. So I moved on, and I went and worked at back racks.
Okay.
And I started at back racks. I wouldn't get paid very much money, but I loved that industry.
Exactly.
So I stayed in that industry.
Exactly.
Stayed prayed up, continued to put God first, and was working on myself. And I said, eventually, I'm going to get another store. How's it going to happen? I don't know, but God is on my side.
I'll be back.
And I'm going to be back.
I'll be back.
It was 7, 8 years later, but
you back.
Yeah, and it's a whole lot nicer than what I could have ever dreamed of.
It is.
You know what I mean? And it's all because I
nice
stayed in that field and was just going in that direction. And if you do that and you do what's right, God, I'm telling you, he'll make it happen, man, every time.
See, that and timing. Everything's in its own timing.
Yeah. God's timing.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
when I was for 8 years, me waiting to do it, would I rather for it to happen in a couple? Yeah,
it's meant to be.
But guess what? It may not be but in God's timing. But I still continued to do that. And what a lot of people don't know, when I closed my store, I went to go work for back racks. They started me off at $8 an hour. Yep. But I knew I was going to outwork everybody.
Humble.
So in 6 months, I was at $20 an hour.
Humble.
I became the manager.
Stay humble.
Yeah. But I knew this is what I wanted to do, not knowing that when I was going to open up my own store 8 years later, that me working for back racks, a company that's been around since 1877, they were totally going out of business. So I bought all the fixtures that they had at that store. And those fixtures are now in my store. So me going there making only $8 an hour, I'm thinking
paid off.
I thought it was like the worst thing
more
ever.
Than that.
But God knew what it needed to be happening. Me going there, the things that my dad couldn't teach me as far as working the business, me going to work over at back racks, becoming a manager, I got to see things on a whole nother level. So now I know I can have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, or 30 stores. You just got to go in that direction and say that's what you want to do. It's really that simple.
That's
a lot of people are scared to do their own business because of the risk, Nothing is guaranteed. You come to work, like you said, it's raining, so it's going to be a little slower. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, if you go to a job, $10 an hour, you work 8 hours, you know you got $80. You know
there you go. Yep.
But with your own business, that ain't the case. But see, with me, because I've been around it all my life, and then my dad, he was around all of his life. So I understand the business part of it. So exactly
how it could happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So when it does hit, it's not such a blow to you, you know, or a surprise as much as an inconvenience and a way to shift.
Yeah, because this is what I'm going to do. But it was a big blow though.
Well,
you know what I mean? You know, just to lose it, and then you go here and work.
Pockets, you know,
and you talking about you go from $150,000 a year to $8 an hour. You know, that's different. So in my mind, I just like, you know, and I don't know why I was like, some just of all the places I could have went to Saks, Nordstrom's, and got more money, but I knew what I wanted to do in the future. See. Mentally, but hold on, John, hold on. Yeah, but let me finish. The point I'm making is this: me going to Saks, that's why I went to back racks, because I knew it was a better fit for what I was doing. See, me going to back racks, I can see. I mean, working there, I could see how I could have me multiple stores. Right. But me at a Saks or Nordstrom, you
wouldn't have got to see that.
Well, it's a department. It's not
exactly.
It's not a specialty store.
Yeah.
It's not a boutique. You see what I mean? It doesn't have a niche. It's just,
I'm part of something else.
To be part of Saks, or you're talking billions. That's a pretty big operation. So I knew that wasn't the route. So I had to go to back racks to get what I was going to get, to learn what I need to learn, so I could even take what I was doing to another level. I'd say it was like an intern to me. That's what I say it was.
We all need money.